Hello, welcome back and welcome along. If you've just joined us, this is another in the Sage CRM Cumulus Virtual Summit, and I'm here again with Danny. Hi, Danny.
Hi, David.
The session title for this one is Skilling Up on Sage CRM, What's Available? There's a lot of training available to partners on Sage CRM on how to implement Sage CRM, how to articulate the value proposition, how to deliver successful projects. So this session is really all about just a quick run through of where everything is, because we are deploying material all over the place, and just to give you a feel for where things are in case you haven't come across them already. We offer a wealth, I think, of material. It's recorded training, there's webinars, there's blogs, there's online help, there's online user assistance, the YouTube channel, a whole lot of stuff. So together with Danny, I'll walk you through these, and he will also speak a bit about what they provide in supporting the UK partner community. So let's make a start. So we have, partly through legacy, a heritage of multi-site deployment. So different material about the product appears in different places. As I said, partly legacy, but partly because some of the platforms we use lend themselves better to doing different things, as videos on YouTube, for example. So here's why we need to do this session, really. So first up, I wanted to show you what's called the Sage CRM community site. So this is community.sagecrm.com. Now, for many years before the advent of places like Sage City and places like that, this was the global location for our employees, partners, and customers to pick up information on Sage CRM, which had everything from learning to product downloads to chats and blogs and things like that. Now, we've moved quite a chunk of it off to Sage City, which we'll look at in a second, because most of the engagement we have with customers and partners is moving to that platform. So we wanted to be there as well. And I'll talk about that in a second. What's left on the community site is this sort of information. So we've got information up here, which includes things like documentation. So you'll be able to find up here old documentation from older releases, which are there just to keep people who need it up to date with what's around. But most of the new stuff is on help, and I'll show you that in a second. We've also got some downloads available. So in the past, where we've provided example components, Jeff, my colleague, does a lot of those to show how you might build particular development ideas. We've also got some sales tools, PowerPoints, recorded webinars, things like that. They're down there as well. So if you're a partner and you're looking for extra material, good place to start is here. We've also got what's called the marketplace, but I'll talk about the marketplace a bit later in the context of Danny, but the marketplace is all about finding add-ons to the core product. So if you're looking for something to maybe connect to a third-party system, it's a good place to start in the marketplace here. And Danny will talk about his ISV add-on shortly. Now we've got the Sage CRM Help Center. This is also part of the sagecrm.com domain. It's called help.sagecrm.com. And this is really becoming increasingly the global location for release documents. So there'll be things like release notes, hardware and software guides, user help, admin help, that sort of thing. There are a few old legacy stories about legacy integrations also up there on the integrations tab. And importantly, if you're in the business of supporting customers, there's also a tab within help.sagecrm.com, which is called the support lifecycle. And you can see there when we officially end support for releases. And this allows you as a partner to have conversations, account management conversations with customers about when a particular release goes out of date and what you need to do to get them on a migration path to the next one. Now, by the way, before I leave support lifecycle, it doesn't mean these products stop working. That's not the point. In fact, some of our customers go back to products even older than the ones you see on the screen. But there are cases, particularly in the last few releases, 2019 and 2020 releases, where there have been changes in security protocols from third-party vendors, Google, Microsoft, etc., where things will stop working in the core. And so it's important to understand when products are deprecated or ended for support and what you can do to make your customers come up to the latest and greatest in order not to fall foul of anything stopping working. Okay, so that's help.sagecrm.com. We also produce a lot of material for YouTube. So there's this channel there called Sage CRM, unsurprisingly. And here we have a collection of both sales and technical material. You'll find suitable material for marketing, pre-sales if you're learning the product, sales, technical stuff, depends what role you're in as to what you might find interesting. There's a lot of case studies up there, sometimes from other regional Sage operating companies as well as our own here at Global. And you'll also find another channel which is called Sage CRM Help and Support, or Support and Training, that's it, where you will find lots of bite-sized learning, particularly from my colleague Jeff. And if you're in a technical role or looking as a customer or partner to learn more about a specific feature, there's some great material up there in video form. So if you like that, that's a good thing to go and have a look at. Okay. Now, back to our own domain for a second. There's a subsection on the community which we call the e-learning area. And e-learning is designed and was designed in the early days to help people skill up on the product. And you can see from the screen I'm showing here right now, this idea that it's split into different audience types: technical, support, sales, and developers. And then within each one of those, you've got different sorts of training material. My colleague Jeff looks after the support area, and he has produced and linked through to a lot of the YouTube videos I spoke about earlier, where you can understand everything from the very basics of how the system is built through to the high-end developing APIs, development approaches, and everything in between. So it's a good place to skill up on the way the product works and how you can increase your competencies. And that applies to support people, technical people, and also if you're interested in, as a partner, skilling up on how to talk about the product, how to talk about the way to pitch the benefits, and even use some of the demonstration data in the most effective and efficient way, then the sales and marketing stream is really for you. And there are a set of, again, YouTube located videos that go through describing CRM, articulating benefits, and all those things I mentioned earlier. All of this is free to access. We don't charge for it. So it's a useful way to skill up quickly, easily, and certainly for free in the background. I mentioned earlier about how we mentioned I moved a lot of material from the Sage CRM community subdomain, where I am now, across to Sage City. And the reason for that is this evolution of Sage City as the destination location for customers and partners. So it's important to have a look around Sage City, understand that there are blogs there, lots of discussion forums on product, and also lots of other forums where CRM is talked about. So for example, Sage 100 and 300 in the US, Sage 200 in the UK, and further afield into Australia, Asia Pac, France, Germany, and so on. And finally, there's also a site called Sage University. If you're a Sage product user, you'll be well familiar with that already. And we offer subset courses inside there on CRM as well. In Sage City, like most products, there is a charge for taking that, but it's essentially a way of also increasing your skill around product and the features in the product. Slightly different in delivery, slightly different in tone and method, but the core information is still there. So that's Sage University. You need to sign up for an account with that as well. So finally, before I hand over to Danny to talk about the ISV market and his particular extra stuff he does in the UK, don't forget as well on the help pages, you've got lots of documentation up there. Jeff, my colleague, would be very unhappy if I didn't point this out to you. Always start with help.sagecrm in terms of finding the latest documentation, because that's usually where we post it. All right, Danny, I'm going to hand to you. Perhaps you could give us a word or three in the remaining sort of 5 minutes-ish, 4 or 5 minutes, about what you've got and how you work with the UK channel for your product.
Yeah, thanks, David. So the key products that we provide, I guess, in the UK channel is our Connect integration. And we've got various different versions of that, the Connect 50, Connect 200 integrations. And we provide online training for partners on that. We provide servers so that they can actually follow along with that training. So if they're doing, for example, the Connect 200 training, they'll have a server to do new installs and how to set that up. And we'll also provide a server to do things like migrations off the classic integration and the SMS connector integrations. And that's a show and tell, and they actually get to also, if they want to, do that within a server. But there's also documentation around that kind of training. And we also have training packs around our other add-ons, such as our creations add-ons that add extra bits of functionality to the product, mainly in the front end. So add-ons to do with quick order processing and automated schedule reporting, that kind of stuff that we're talking about in other sessions. If people want to join some of the other sessions and listen in on that. We're also listed on the ISV Marketplace, so some information on there on the ISV Marketplace about our add-ons. But also there's a growing amount of Sage CRM add-ons and Sage CRM products that are being put onto that marketplace. An example of which is the Time Links add-on, of which there's an ISV session about, which is now listed on that marketplace. And we also produce a lot of our own marketing and collateral, both that we use and we publicize, and probably quite a few of you have seen a lot of our adverts around Sage CRM are coming out, and also the promotions around this particular summit. But that collateral that we produce is part branded Cumulus, but we also provide all of our collateral as an unbranded resource, so that partners can reuse the marketing videos and the brochures, etc., completely unbranded as Cumulus. And the aim really there is to help people promote both Sage CRM, the add-ons, and themselves without it being sort of tied into the Cumulus brand, and just really promoting the product itself. And also off the back of that, we have our own YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and look at Cumulus Solutions, we have a variety of videos on there, generally grouped into playlists that show how to perform certain functions, i.e. simple stuff like resetting user passwords, so that people can be advised on that. And we also have videos about our add-ons, the features and functionality, and also training videos on how to configure certain parts of that functionality up. And as David mentions, with the inbuilt help in Sage CRM on the help.sagecrm.com, we also include in the majority of our products inbuilt product help within Sage CRM. So if you have any issues or questions around configuration or about usage, both you and customers can find that information out about, for example, Connect, by using the inbuilt help within CRM as well.
Excellent, excellent. So it makes it easy to find, and then that'll also link out presumably to YouTube videos or other things if you need them as well.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, so it's good. I'm glad you pointed out the work you're doing with other partners, because it's very much an all boats rise, and that's the approach you're taking, isn't it, to help everybody learn a bit more?
No, absolutely. We're definitely aiming for everyone to understand and promote and sell more CRM. And obviously, you know, if people use our add-ons and our bits, that's great for us. But really, we're just putting stuff together to help people talk about the Sage CRM story in a greater way, and also to bring people together in the community and bring people together to understand the various different add-ons and add-on partners that are available. And that's one of the key reasons as well why we've put on this summit. And also on the YouTube channel, there is a lot of information about from the previous summits, all the 2020, the first one that we put together last year. There's all the videos, etc., that were from that summit are also available on our YouTube channel.
Good reminder, I'd forgotten about that. Yes, so yes, you can go and watch last year's and learn a bit more as well as this year's. Okay, terrific. Thank you for sharing your extras that help tell the Sage CRM story. As a closer, thanks for coming along, and a reminder to go and have a look at some of these sites we've talked about. There is a lot of material out there, and I admit, if you've not seen some of it before, it might look initially confusing because it is kind of spread, but that's the point of this session, is to help you understand where you might find it and why it's in different places. But for now, thank you, Danny, and we'll close this session.